Hi friends, welcome to once again. Today we are going to learn charts and graphs. You can download this presentation from given link. Charts and graph is an easy method to understand the situation or analysis. Today we will learn difference between grouped and ungrouped data, basics of frequency distribution and how to construct it. Graphical depiction of data using different type of charts. Today we will cover following points. What is grouped and ungrouped data? What is frequency distribution? How to construct frequency distribution and how to construct a histogram, a frequency polygon, an ogive, a pie chart, a stem and leaf, a Pareto chart, and a scatter plot. Ungrouped data. Raw data called ungrouped data. It means data that have not been summarized in any way. Those are sometimes referred to ungrouped data. In the table, you can see raw data collected for unemployment rate for France. These are ungrouped data. And this data of unemployment rate for France is over 40 years. So you can see different rate for each year. We haven't mentioned the year, which year of this data. Group data. Data that have been organized into a frequency distribution are called group data. In table you can see that previous slides data are organized and kept under different class interval. So you can see the rate between 1 or under 3 is 16. So 16 data are following under that range. So same way we had done frequency distribution for each interval. We will learn frequency distribution in further slides. So total we had 40 data, and if you do the total of frequency, that will comes out 40. Frequency distribution. Frequency distribution means summary of data presented in the form of class intervals and frequencies. Frequency distributions are constructed according to individual business researchers' taste, so final shape and design will vary. We are taking same previous example of ungrouped data. So if we take same example, we choose the first class interval is 1 under 3, and we can see that 16 data are following in that interval. You can see same which datas are following in that range, and total is 16. So if we count numbers fall in this class interval, that is 16. How to construct frequency distribution? First, we have to determine the range of the raw data. Then we have to determine how many classes it will contain. One rule is that classes should be between 5 and 15. After selecting the number of classes, we must determine the width of the class interval. So an approximation of the class width can be calculated by dividing the range by the number of classes. Frequency distribution must start at a value equal to or lower than the lowest number of the ungrouped data and end at the value 2 or higher than the highest number. So there should be a range where none of the data get missed. So we will take care about highest number and the lowest number. Example of frequency distribution. So here we are taking same example throughout whole presentation. So the midpoint of each class interval is called class midpoint and also class mark. Class midpoint can calculated by two ways. Class beginning point plus half of the class width, or class beginning point plus class ending point divided by 2. So if we will calculate the class midpoint for second class interval, it will come out 3 plus 5 divided by 2 is equal to 4. So we had used second method for identifying class midpoint, which is class beginning point is 3 and class ending point is 5, and we divided that by 2. So the same way you can identify class midpoint for each class. So if you take 5 under 7, then 5 plus 7 divided by 2. So it will come out 6. And same way for other class intervals. Range and class width. In the table you can see highest number is 12.5 and lowest number is 1.2. So if we want to find out the range, then largest number minus smallest number. So it will come out 12.5 minus 1.2 is equal to 11.3. As difference between each data is not too large, we decided number of class interval will be 6. So if you want to find out class width, then range divide by number of classes. So range is 11.3 and number of classes are 6. So it will come out 1.9. So you can see our class width is 1 under 3, which is 1.9. Now frequency distribution of raw data. So here we have two type of frequency, relative frequency and cumulative frequency. So relative frequency is the proportion of the total frequency that is in any given class interval in a frequency distribution. And the cumulative frequency is the running total of frequencies through the classes of a frequency distribution. So you can see in the table, relative frequency will be the frequency of that class interval, which is 16, and the total frequency is 40. So 16 divided by 40 is equal to 0.4. So that way you can find out relative frequency for each class interval. And the second is cumulative frequency. So in cumulative frequency, you keep adding the frequency of each interval. So for first class interval, it is 16, the same as its own frequency. But for second class interval, it will come out 16 plus 2. So previous class's frequency plus the own class frequency. So it will come out 18. So same way you can keep adding the frequencies of all class intervals in sequence. Next is graphical depiction. Graphical depiction is one of the most effective mechanism for presenting data in a form of meaningful to decision makers. Though graph and charts, decision maker will get overall picture of data and identify useful conclusion. Most difficult step is to reduce important data and present them in a clear and concise manner through graphical depiction. Very first graphical chart is histogram. A histogram is a type of vertical bar chart that is used to depict a frequency distribution. Now, how to plot histogram? For plotting histogram, x-axis labeled with the class endpoints and y-axis labeled with frequencies. So we can join class endpoints to class endpoints at each frequency value by drawing horizontal line and connect each line segment vertically from the frequency value to the x-axis, which will create rectangular segment. So you can see in the chart that we had labeled x-axis with the interval class intervals, which is 1 3 3 5 5 7 7 9 and so on, and y-axis labeled with the frequencies. So you can see very first rectangular segment is drawn for class interval 1 under 3, and that is frequency is 16. So you can see we draw the horizontal line at 16 and both the end of horizontal line is connected to the x-axis. So same way you can draw rectangular segments for each class interval and you can easily draw the histogram. This histogram is created using Microsoft Excel. So all charts are drawn through Microsoft Excel. Now, second is frequency polygons. A frequency polygon is a graph in which line segments connecting the dots depict a frequency distribution. So, how we can plot frequency polygon? X-axis labeled with the class endpoints and y-axis labeled with the frequency. A dot is plotted for frequency value at the midpoint of each class interval and connect these midpoints and draw a line. So you can see 16 is plotted between 1 and 3, 2 is plotted between 3 and 5, and so on. Now an ogive. An ogive is a cumulative frequency polygon. Ogives are most useful to see running totals. How to plot an ogive? So x-axis labeled with the class endpoints and y-axis labeled with the frequencies. Frequency range should cover cumulative frequency values. A dot of zero frequency is plotted at the beginning of the first class and construction will be proceed end of each class. So connect the plotted dots. You can see class start with the 1 and initial it is 0, and then if you add the frequency so on, then first is 16, so we plotted 16 at 3, which is end of class interval, and then rest of the points, and make sure it should be a cumulative frequency, not the class frequency. So you should make sure that y-axis should cover the cumulative frequency value. A pie chart. A pie chart is a circular depiction of a data where the area of the whole pie represent 100% of the data and slices represent a percentage breakdown of the sublevels. Pie chart widely used for budget, categories, market share and time and resource location. So how to plot a pie chart? So convert the raw sales figure to proportion by dividing each figure by the totals. So you can see in the pie chart that we had took the example of sales of drinks, and we took four types of drinks: soda, energy drink, smoothies and protein. So each number has multiplied by 360 to obtain correct number of degree to represent each item. So here you can see we identify the percentage, and then we had plotted all four drinks sales data in term of percentage. Next is Pareto charts. Pareto analysis is a quantitative tallying of the number and types of defects that occur with the product or service. This analysis use to tally produce a vertical bar chart that displays the most common type of defects and ranked in order to occurrence from left to right. The bar chart is called Pareto chart. So here you can see in the chart we had plotted electrical motor problems. So we had four type of problems and we plotted that in descending order. So you can see 40% problem occurs due to poor wiring, 30% due to short in coil, 25% for defective plug, and just 5% for bearing cyst. So you can see major problem occur because of poor wiring. So according to this chart, company officials and workers would probably begin to improve quality by examining the segment of the production process that involve the wiring. So if you improve the wiring, then you can reduce the motor problems due to wiring. So that way you can identify defects for any product or any services by using this Pareto chart. Now we will see scatter plots. Scatter plots are graphical mechanism for examining the relationship between two numerical variables is called scatter plot. A scatter plot is a two-dimensional graph. We plot that graph from pairs of points from two numerical variables. Suppose we are plotting value of new construction over 8-year period. So you can see left side we have a table which contains data of residential and non-residential constructions over 8 years. So you can see both have a numerical data. So for same year, we take residential digits and non-residential digits and plot on the graph. So we can see that both the numerical variables are plotted in the right side of the graphs, and we plotted all 8 years of points. So that way you can construct scatter plots. The scatter plots also shows that in some years more new residential buildings and less new non-residential buildings happen at the same time and vice versa. Next is generating charts using computer. We know we have a lot of softwares and analysis software packages, and we can do analysis and create graphs and charts from those softwares. But Microsoft Excel is very simple and easily available data package providing by Microsoft. So here I had shown how you can use Microsoft Excel for generating graph or a chart. So I had given a screenshot. So you can see from Microsoft Excel, you can go to Insert tab. By clicking on Insert tab, you will see the options to insert. So here you can see column type of graphs, line graph, pie chart, bar chart, area, scatter, and other charts. So you can just click on that chart which you want to add, and then you can select your options. Even you can select your x-axis and y-axis values, and uh, according to that you can create chart. We will see one by one with each chart, how to plot each chart in the next presentation. And in this presentation, whichever charts and graphs you see, those are all generated by Microsoft Excel. So this is it for this presentation, and next time